Well, ladies and gentlemen, a special guest joining me on this special Tim May podcast, Devin Brown, quarterback signee with Ohio State University. Welcome to the Tim May podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's pretty exciting. You know, anytime Ohio State signs a quarterback, and I think you know why. You watched the Heisman Trophy probably ceremony on Saturday night. Ohio State's had three guys at that ceremony in the last 4 years: Dwayne Haskins Jr., Justin Fields, and of course C.J. Stroud. But it's a land of opportunity for a quarterback if you get that starting job, isn't it, Devin?
No doubt, it definitely is.
Why is that? Do you think you've watched this offense a little bit now? Heck, you're so interested in it. You've signed with the Buckeyes, and as you and I are talking, you haven't signed with them yet, but you will be signed. So I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable there. But what is it about this offense that attracted you from the get-go?
There's just so much talent around the whole program. I mean, every position has so much depth and so much talent. And just the coaches, they know what they're doing. They know how to recruit. They know how to coach guys and develop guys, and they believe in their teachings, and it's worked. I mean, the last few years, they're the top team in the country every year. And playing in the Big Ten, it's not easy every week, so they always get after it. It's pretty amazing what they've done.
Hey, who all was after you, man? I mean, just give people a little bit of a background on you. Obviously, you played for former Ohio State quarterback Joe Germain, a quarterback of some great repute, won a Rose Bowl back in 1996 season, was on that team in 98 when if there'd been a college football playoff then, they would have played for it, but they got upset by Michigan State, led by an unknown coach by the name of Nick Saban. You ever heard of him?
I haven't.
Yeah. Anyway, but they didn't get a chance to play for the championship, still went, 11-1, hell of a team. And I know you know Coach Germain very well, but Coach Germain left Queen Creek High School in Arizona, and then you left and you ended up at Corner Canyon High School in Draper, Utah for your senior season this past season. Just give us a little bit of a background on you about what Joe Germain, I guess, meant to your development and why you sought out this Corner Canyon High School to play your senior year.
Coach Germain is somebody super special in my life. I talk to him pretty much every week. I'm still in contact with him. I'm pretty close to his younger boy, Jack, who's a quarterback just a year below me. And, Coach Germain welcomed me into Queen Creek, and we had a lot of great memories there. And he taught me so much. Like, his offense was super incredible, and there's so much depth into it, and how much time we put into it was really cool. I mean, all the film sessions I had with him, just one-on-one, we put so much work in, and that whole experience at Queen Creek was really special. I'll still be talking with Coach Germain from now on, and he, especially going to Ohio State, he's super pumped for me, so it's pretty cool. And then Corner Canyon just kind of fell in. Like, I didn't really plan on going there or anything, just kind of how it worked out moving up here to Utah. And this season was super amazing and super special. Coach Kerr is one of the greatest offensive minds out there as well. And, we put up big numbers this year, and we love to throw the ball all over the place. And the talent around us was amazing. It was just a super incredible year. And high school, crazy, moving states after my senior year, or going into my senior year. And it was a crazy ride, but I wouldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, let's make people understand if you couldn't have followed Coach Germain to his new high school, which I think was his alma mater. You couldn't have followed him there. You wouldn't have been allowed to play, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so you saw that Corner Canyon. How come it's not Box Canyon High School? But that's another story. You saw that Corner Canyon High School, and it turned into kind of a match made in heaven, for want of another term, right? You know what they call Utah? In that heaven on earth? Am I wrong about that?
I don't know, maybe.
But, just is it amazing the coaches you run into? Well, you're just now in high school, but the coaches you run into in high school now are so much advanced, especially in the passing game, right? It's kind of crazy, isn't it, the way teams throw the ball around? For
sure. The game's definitely changing.
Did you feel like that was great preparation for this new challenge you've got? I mean, because these are fairly complex offenses you've dealt with, even on the high school level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, playing for two different systems was super beneficial to me. I got to understand two different offenses, two different languages, playing with different guys, and that's just how it's going to be moving up, going into a new offense, meeting new guys, new coaches, different coaching techniques. I mean, that's just life. There's always change, so it's definitely good to fill that change out.
Give people a little bit of a background now. Who all was after you, Devin? I'm talking about of serious nature. Who all was after you? And then we'll get into why you picked Ohio State.
There was a lot of schools. Towards the end, the main schools were USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Texas, and Ole Miss.
Did did Lincoln Riley, did people come back after you after that big coaching change? I mean, did your phone ring? Has your phone continued to ring even though you moved on? Go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley called me pretty much as soon as he got the job. And that was kind of towards when I was about to commit. And I knew like a week before I put anything out that I was already committed and already had told the coaches and everything. And just wanted to tell the other coaches, obviously, out of respect and everything. But yeah, but since I've committed, nobody else has reached out. They know I'm fully locked in and ready to be a Buckeye.
I got you. You mean Louisiana State hadn't called?
No.
You know where I'm going with that, Brian Kelly. It is amazing. I want to get your perspective on this. You're a high school guy, and you just watched the head coach from Notre Dame go to LSU. You just watched the head coach of Oklahoma go to USC. What's just your reaction? I mean, as a young guy there, those are supposed to be, all of those are bastions, of college football. But what was it like to watch that happen from your perspective?
It was wild. It was very hectic. Like, you didn't know what was going to happen next, and you don't know what to expect from coaches because, they may see one thing and do the other. So you just never know. But, I mean, that's just the game. That's just the business. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, it is a business. So they got to do what's best for them and their families. So it was very crazy. But some guys are still feeling it, trying to figure out where they're going to go. So it's pretty wild.
I was going to say, there was even this, rumor going around about Coach Dave possibly going to an NFL team. I would think he probably nipped that in the bud with you, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he really likes what he's doing right now. Didn't necessarily like it against that team up north. But I wanted to ask you this: the attraction for Ohio State was there for you even before the end of the season. You were looking at that quarterback room like anybody else. You had C.J. Stroud sitting there. You had Kyle McCord. You had Jack Miller, a kid from Arizona, you're probably familiar with, and Scottsdale, and then of course Quinn Ewers. And now two of those guys aren't there anymore, Quinn Ewers and Jack Miller. Is that a little bit stunning to you how quickly the room can change?
Definitely. I mean, with the new transfer portal rules, it's crazy. Everybody's just bouncing all over the place like coaches are. But, I mean, it is what it is. I came in thinking that all those guys were still going to be there. I wanted to go compete against them. Like, that was my plan. I wanted to compete against the best because in order to play and to be the best in college, you got to go against the best. And so that was my plan. And so once I left, it was almost kind of like a bummer because I wanted to compete against them.
Yeah. It was a bummer. Now you only got two guys, the starter and the backup, right? Hey, have you been in touch? Have you talked with C.J. Stroud or Kyle McCord before? I mean, what's sort of a conversation maybe you've had with them or Corey Dennis? I mean, just kind of give people an insight into that.
Yeah, so Coach Dennis is my main recruiter. I'm talking with him every week, him and Coach Day. And actually, Coach Dennis was just at my school the other day, and we're always talking. But I've only talked to Kyle McCord. He was my host on my official visit, so I was playing cards with them one night, went to dinner with them, and just kind of got to talk to him and see what life was like there. But I haven't talked with CJ yet.
So what do two quarterbacks? That's hard to say. Don't make me say it again. I'm going to do it again. What do two quarterbacks talk about when he's sitting there and he's hosting you and he's eyeballing you and you're eyeballing him, right? I mean, because, y'all both want the ball eventually somewhere along the line at Ohio State. What do y'all talk about? Just the chemistry? I mean, what just kind of gets you going, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about dinner, just like their life moving in early, what it was like, the challenges, what they liked, and just day to day there. We sat around playing cards, just talked about other players we knew, people we knew, but the whole recruiting process, but never really into too much depth of like competing and everything. Like, everybody in the quarterback room loves each other. Like, they're just the friends that love to do the same thing and play ball and play quarterback. Like, there's no hatred towards each other. Just go out and compete with each other. Yeah.
I was going to say, even your Coach Joe Germain transferred in there from a junior college. You know what I mean? I mean, people have come and gone in that room and around the country. Is it a little bit stunning to you how many people are in the portal right now? I mean, guys who started for their teams this year, like Bo Nix, he's in the transfer portal. I mean, that's just an example. I mean, Adrian Martinez, from Nebraska, is he in the transfer portal? I mean, is it kind of stunning to you how many people are trying to find another shot?
Definitely. I think a big thing is just because coaches are leaving too. I mean, there's just so many factors that lead into guys leaving. And a lot of the time it's not just because they're not playing. There's more factors than that. But yeah, it's wild. You never know what's going to happen with these guys leaving, and who knows where they'll be.
Well, as I've explained to people, I've been covering this stuff for a long time, since been covering Ohio State since 1984. And, quarterback is the weird position because they don't usually play two very often. You know what I mean?
No.
And,
Yeah.
And number two, you only get 5 years. Well, unless you were in part of COVID, then you got 6. But I'm not laughing at a joke there. But the bottom line is you only get 5 years to play 4. And usually, guys, if you're pretty good, you try to stay there 3 or 4, right? And that window opens and shuts very quickly, doesn't it? I mean, you can see it from your perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would be, are you going to enroll early? I mean, you just give people your plans here.
Yeah. So I actually graduate high school Friday. So I sign Wednesday, graduate Friday, and then I'll go down to Arizona, see all my family for Christmas and all that. And then I'll go play in the All-American Bowl in San Antonio. And that game's the January 8th. And then I go straight from there to Columbus. And my first day of class is January 11th. So it's right around the corner.
All right, just a couple. I'll let you go. I always say that, and then I ask 10 more. But don't hold that against me. Your biggest highlight in high school so far, or your biggest highlight in high school is going to be graduating, probably getting that early degree. Even my baby brother did that a long time ago, but that's another story. Boy, baby brother, he's 63 now. But what just stands out? What's a game or a play you will never forget from your high school career?
I think a game I'll never forget was just the state championship game this last year. We came up short, but it was 49-42, I believe, was the score. And it was a shootout. And offensively, I mean, we played very well. And it was one of the craziest games I've ever played in. And there was just so much energy, so much emotion. We ended up losing it, but that just will forever stick in my head.
Is it fun being in a game like that, though, except for the final score? Is it fun knowing you got to score almost every time? Explain to people what it's like to be immersed in something like that.
It's wild. We played at the University of Utah, and our whole school was bussed out there. Like, the support we have with our school is crazy. So we almost filled up the whole Utah stadium just for our high school state championship game. And there was so much noise, so much energy in the crowd. And after every touchdown, or any big play, everybody's just going crazy. And you could just feel that emotion when you're playing. And I had never felt something like that. So it's pretty special.
I got you. Hey, how would you rate the competition you played against, especially this year, Devin? I mean, a lot of people think, coming from different high schools, you haven't really seen the competition you're going to go against. Well, nobody does, because when you move to a Power 5 conference going against Power 5 teams, it's going to be a step up. You got a pretty good training in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played in Arizona and Utah. I say only, that's more than most people go do, but I don't really know what the talent, obviously you see all the recruits and everything out of the other states, but you never actually play those high schools. But I think the top schools in Utah can compete with anybody in Arizona, without a doubt in my mind. But there's a lot of guys in Utah that are coming up, and I think Utah's getting more attention with recruits. I mean, even on our team alone, we have like 5-6 guys going Power 5. And so it's pretty cool and pretty special just to have that in your own program and you're best friends with them, and you get to see them go do big things. But I really can't say what it'd be like going to play California teams or anything like that.
Yeah, but you know whether a defensive back is breaking on the ball well or not, things like that. I mean, yeah, exactly. Hey, the quarterback becomes the ipso facto leader of a recruiting class. How good is this recruiting class at Ohio State from your estimation?
Very good. We're very good right now. We have a lot of offensive guys committed, a lot of good defensive guys committed, and everybody's just super connected with each other. Like, everybody's so cool. We have a group chat. I'm playing video games with a couple of the teammates and stuff. Like, we already know who we're going to room with. I'm like, it's pretty cool how connected we all are, and everybody's so cool and family oriented. It's really special. We're going to be a special.
Hey, give me one player that just jumps out at you from this group. You've become really good buddies with.
I think I've got the closest with Bennett, the tight end from Georgia. I'm in a room with him. I've been talking to him a bunch.
Oh, wow. Cool, man. Well, last thing, any trepidation going cross country from Utah, well, actually from Arizona to Ohio State to play college football? A lot of people think that's what bothered Quinn Ewers. He had to get back to Texas. So I think there was a lot going on in his brain. But is there any trepidation there for you? Just give people an insight into that, of looking forward to this next big step.
I'm just excited to get up there. I'm an Arizona native, so I'm not used to the cold, but being in Utah, it hasn't been bad at all. I thought it'd be way worse. And, it's been snowing like crazy this week, especially, and it really hasn't been anything bad, but I'm just excited for that challenge and to get to experience it all and play in it and everything. It's gonna be super cool. I'm just so excited.
Hey, can I ask you one last thing? You brought up the snow, and I remember that picture you put on Twitter of I think it was your pickup truck covered with snow, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get that a lot in Queen Creek there, right outside Phoenix.
No.
But it brought to my mind some of these pickup trucks, some of these quarterbacks and other people ended up with at Ohio State this year with the name, image, and likeness deals they got. Are you already versed in that? I mean, are you looking forward to that aspect of being a college athlete? I mean, do you already have some things maybe you want to explore, give people kind of an insight into that? Because you got to be ready for that now, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You got to be open to it. And I think, I don't think you should be seeking out NIL, to be honest. Some guys they're in different situations and that's like how they've been raised and everything, like that's different. But where I'm at, I'm just ready to experience being a broke college student, to be honest. I mean, like the money will come. The big money comes when you're playing in the NFL. Like you just got to play, in my opinion. But, guys have different stories, like I said, and have different upbringings, and that money means a lot to them and like can really help them. But, where I'm at, it's not a big factor for me. I just want to go play.
Gotcha. Wow, man. You're kind of a throwback, man. Hey, Devin, appreciate you joining me, man. This was fun, and good luck as you move to Columbus, man, in the competition. Do you thrive on competition? Because I do. I feel
like my best games are the hardest ones. Like my best games of this season were the 3 playoff games that we had.
Wow.
And best teams. Like I feel like I'm way better under competition. It just pushes me and drives me to go.
Gotcha. Well, hey, thanks for joining the Tim May podcast, my man. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.